Well, I finally have a UFO sighting, and it's the real deal. I did my homework on this, and I want to share it with you. Now, although I don't have the UFO photograph here, I do have photographs of something that happened before it that I couldn't explain, that other people saw too. I'm actually going to share that with you, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly what I saw out here. I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and some other things that have been going on here. We're going to explore more of our, let's just say, our friends' presence here that's being known more and more. You ready to share my UFO experience? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. All right, before we get started, I hope if you like this content, which will empower you and show you that all things are possible, there are amazing, beautiful, wonderful things going on out there. I'm going to talk about that today. And you want to see more of empowerment, enlightenment, oneness, compassion and love, and going into a space where your life will be so abundant and happy and joy-filled, and you're going to know that you're here for a very important reason, then I ask you to subscribe, because we're going into a new era. Specifically these next 2 years, some amazing things are going to happen. We're going to see things in the unknown world appear, happen for us, unexplainable things. We're going to see things out here in our skies. We're going to see the presence of, let's see, the other dimensions that are here. And just because we're in 3D and we just don't have those capabilities because we're on such a low density, we'll start to expand those frequencies and capabilities to not only communicate with other realms that exist at the same time with us, but we're going to welcome it, use it, and become a completely different society because of it. Now, here's what I believe is happening with our UFO community. I believe that they have been waiting for us, the toddlers, to grow up so that they can step in and actually show us another way, because we're choosing it. They cannot infringe on free will. There are endless forms out there, just as we have been those forms and have chosen to be humans in a matrix. We call it the matrix. It's not a prison planet. It is a program. It's a reality that we chose to come here and experience. Why? To know it. To know what it's like to be dense, to forget how amazing and wonderful we are, and to know sadness and loss and fear, things that we don't know outside of our bodies. Our neighbors are in much higher, different places. They're not all perfect beings, just like we aren't, but they are definitely more advanced than we are. I believe that they are not the dangerous, evil beings that we hear all of these stories about. Why do I say this? Because if they were taking us over, they would have done it by now. They wouldn't wait till we destroyed our planet. They would just do their thing. And they could do it in many different ways. They don't use weapons like we do. They're way more advanced than that. I don't believe that they have agreements with our government. I think that's only humans think that we sign contracts and have agreements. They're so way beyond that. They might sign a contract as a joke because, only we would make an alien, an extraterrestrial, sign a contract. We don't even stick to our own contracts. So there's a lot of silliness to this. What I'm going to share with you today is an actual sighting that I had. Now, before I share it, and I do have pictures of something that happened prior to it that made me keep watching the sky, something strange I knew was going on out there. I just want to say that I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and the reason why I think Florida is one of the top spots for sightings, and other places like certain mountainous areas. I believe that not only do they hang out in certain areas more, but I think we're spotting them because we have super clear skies down here. So I think it's not that they aren't in other places. I think it's easier to see them here. We also have Kennedy Space Center. SpaceX and NASA fires off their stuff from here. So I believe a lot of people are seeing things that are not our neighbors, but they're U.S. made. SpaceX went off a few days ago, and we saw one a few months ago, and everybody was convinced it was a UFO until they found out it was SpaceX. It was pretty wild looking. I mean, it was this red streak going up, but it was going up into the sky. All right, so somebody said it could be a meteorite, and I said, no, it was going up. That means it's a launch of some kind. Now, I want you to know I did my homework on this. We had a SpaceX launch on April 14th. Today, I'm shooting this on the 21st, and it was the 20th, yesterday, that I actually saw an unidentified craft, a pretty big one. I want you to know that Chris Bledsoe, now I've talked a lot about him a while back because I think he's probably one of the most credible people out there. You know me, I don't let just anybody on here or tell any stories. I try and debunk it, and if I think it's remotely not the real thing, no matter what your great intentions are, most of the stuff you guys are seeing, it's not the real thing. It's lens flares and things like that. But Chris Bledsoe had a story that is so backed up by way too many people to be made up. He was abducted, and his life has been heck because of it. Why would you make up that story to get attention? I don't believe he's doing that. He seems like a genuine guy, and his story is consistent. His son was also abducted. He was missing for hours on a fishing trip, and the entire camp of guys that were together actually saw these craft and were absolutely petrified because of it. Since then, Chris has seen many UFOs. He has direct contact with them in some way. Perhaps he is part of their race that came here to become a human being, to assist us in evolving, and his stories helping us to open our minds to that. I don't have those answers. He actually doesn't either. He has said that in 2026, something major is going to happen in April. That is when certain planets and stars align directly over the pyramid. The Red Star Regulus will be seen at that moment, sometime in April, and that there's going to be some mystical things that happen there. The feminine is going to be dominant on our planet, which means what? Less war, less testosterone. And so I do believe between now and then you're going to see more craft, because I believe they're here to assist us, and anything that you hear is meant to more of the fear. If it's fear-based, I don't listen to. If it's fear-based, it's human-made up. All right? The rest has absolute definite purpose. Your challenges have real purpose to them. All right? It's part of your experience here to know it. Why? Because we don't know what it's like to fear or be sad or to have loss. When we're outside of these bodies, we know that doesn't actually exist. It's all created by us. We're creating that. That's what the Matrix is. It's not a prison planet. It's just an experience. Don't go into fear. Let's break through it. You guys know I've had a whole downloaded book for you. Those of you who've read it know that it's very powerful, and that if you really take in what I shared with you in the book, you'll understand why you're here. And we're going to go into what's called the knowing. The knowing is not going to be afraid of extraterrestrials coming here, or the stories we've been told that, you know, we're signing contracts, government contracts, so silly. The negative ones, because that is setting us up to give our hard-earned money over to the old institutions to battle the evil, when they're actually just spending money out there to take over other things. I do believe that, and I don't think that's conspiracy. I think that's just what the lower level thinking does. It's always just trying to maintain control and money. It does it through money. There's nothing for us to fight. If no weapons that we have can overcome the power of our neighbors who are coming here not on fuel. They're coming through wormholes or dropping through dimensions. I don't know. They're blinking in and out there on a higher realm. They can actually change form and disappear on a dime. Now, I saw a UFO a few years ago. It's the only one that I've seen up until this point, except for last night. This UFO looked like a top. It was this form, It was longer, and it was like the size of maybe a big truck, you know, a Mack truck or something. But it was this big, it wasn't huge. It was super clear sky in Atlanta, and it floated over and it stopped, and I thought, is that a balloon? It was silver. And it stopped, but there was wind and it didn't move. I mean, and I couldn't hear anything. And I thought, that thing, whatever it is being powered. It's not a balloon. And so it stayed real steady in the sky, just sat there for quite a few minutes. As I'm watching, I'm thinking, that's about 10,000 feet up. That's right directly in the flight patterns of the Hartsfield Airport, Atlanta's airport. And I watched and I saw a plane, aircraft coming in, and I thought, that guy's going to get real close to this thing. And as soon as it came anywhere near this, it blinked out. It just completely disappeared. I didn't see it shoot off. It just disappeared. It might have shot off, and it was so fast that my eyes couldn't pick it up. I was very excited, and no, I didn't have missing time. I was always hoping I'd see another one. Be careful what you wish for. But last night, I want to share with you that I saw something in the sky, and I'm going to break away and show these pictures to you. Unfortunately, they're off of my digital camera, and so I couldn't get a real close-up. I need to do some homework to learn how to film better with these, with my camera, take better shots. So I'm going to break away and explain to you exactly what I saw. Okay, you can see from this photograph, something has lit up here in the sky, right here, and right here. This one is streaking down. This one lit up and started to fall down. This one is what showed up here, started to streak straight down, and this one, these are clouds up here, but this was spiraling down. As you can see, this is still going down. Same thing here, and there was one over here. This is a much better picture of this. This one was really bright and falling down. Now this has got darker, and this one was streaking down. There was one streaking down. These other ones are clouds. And as you can see, it's falling down to the earth. It's not a plane. Do you see the spiral on this? It was spiraling down as if it was some kind of debris that was flown off of something. This was especially interesting, this spiral that was going down. And it continued onward to the ground. And same with these other pieces. They were spiraling down. Okay, so what if it is debris from SpaceX on re-entry? Well, I looked this up. SpaceX, the ones carrying the Starlink satellites, they're designed for single use. They aren't intended to return. They're disposable after launch. It performs a controlled descent, attempts a landing on a drone ship in the ocean, then they can reuse the booster. So, okay, let's say that was it. But it doesn't return to land. So it when it reaches orbit and deploys the satellites, it eventually burns up in the Earth's atmosphere after fulfilling its purpose. In other words, the Falcon 9 rockets for Starlink missions are one-way trips. The booster might be recovered for reuse, but the core components aren't designed to return to Earth. It is possible that that was debris off of SpaceX, the Falcon 9 rocket. It is possible. Maybe if it's meant to be a one-way mission and it burns up, that could have definitely been debris. But the next part I'm going to tell you about is unexplainable and definitely was not the Falcon X rocket. So even though you might say, oh, it just looks like, jet stream or whatever, that's not what happened. I actually saw it appear and spiral. It wasn't something I came to the dock and saw. I was watching my dolphins, and what did I see? This thing appeared, it flashed real bright, and then it started to go down. The other one, same thing, it just appeared as like one big puff, like something had blown off. It was not black, it didn't look like something, debris that was on fire. But then it spiraled, and that's what happens when something blows off of something. It could have been debris from SpaceX on the 14th. Well, later that night, a couple hours after the sun went down, I was in my lounge and I was watching TV and doing a little bit of work. And for some reason, I had you know what, this is weird. For some reason, I stepped outside. I don't even know why I stepped outside. And I looked up in the sky, and there was no sound out there. There was a huge craft. It looked like I could see the top of it and then the bottom like this. It wasn't just like this. It wasn't triangle or anything. And there was lights all the way across. A huge row of lights the entire way from end to end. I also saw a couple of little red lights around it, just hanging out around it. Nothing was blinking, nothing was moving, except for the two red lights that seemed to be either part of it or checking it out. I couldn't hear. I thought maybe it's helicopters or jets checking it out, but they were not moving like human aircraft. And they were red with no blinking, bright red lights. And just sitting there, sort of moving around it. And I went and got my binoculars to look at this thing. But I have to tell you, when I grabbed my camera, it blinked out. It was gone, completely gone. I could not get a shot of it. But I pulled my binoculars out to look at this thing. And it wasn't there very long. This was absolutely, without a doubt, an alien craft. Or E.T. You guys don't like it when I say alien. It doesn't matter. They don't care. Our neighbors, I don't believe this was of any kind of human craft, and it was absolutely huge sitting there, and I'm very excited about this. So Chris Bledsoe, who can call these things in, is out there with an interviewer in Tampa Bay where his daughter is, and he knows beforehand if they're going to show up. So this interviewer says, let's go see one. If you can call these things in, come on, let's do it. And he did. It took about 30 minutes, and Chris said, oops, I think, watch the skies. He has a sense that they're coming in. He's connected to them. And this interviewer said this craft came in. There's no way that it was a plane or anything else. The way it was moving, it was so different. There was not a satellite. And he said, this is the real deal. Now, apparently he does this all the time. You're going to see that more and more. In fact, you can probably do it yourself, not as entertainment. And you have to be in a state of mind of meditation. Now, there is is it called CE5? It's an app. I have it on my mobile phone. It makes noises that apparently come from crop circles, and you're supposed to go into a meditational state first, because they are higher beings. They are not violent, evil things. You know, that's just, like I said, more ways to get money and control from us, to battle the evil out there that doesn't really exist, that could take us out in 2 seconds if they wanted to. But what we're really doing is just trying to control the planet and everybody else. If it's fear-based, run. If it's fear-based, run, because that's man-made. And when I say man-made, I mean man, testosterone. When we go into the feminine, we will not speak like that. We will not go into war. We will not go into conflict. I believe that they are here to wait for the era when the feminine moves in, and we have a whole new era of spirituality and thinking. And oh, some beautiful butterfly just went by. And we're going to transition in a spiritual way, so you're going to see more of the other realms. You're going to see more of the objects of craft out there. And if we're not in fear, they will show up more because they're welcome. They are not here to frighten us, to take over, to do anything. They would have done that by now. The other realms that you see, you know, what UFOs, extraterrestrials, other dimensions, it's all just one big blur, and we're part of that blur. We just happen to be on the bottom of the food chain because we're extremely dense. This is going to happen more and more. Now I'm going to start watching because I've always wanted to see UFO, but I'm like, I don't know if I'd be real excited to get on board with them, depending what the situation is. I'm still a human being. There's a part of me that's not going to feel real comfortable with that. But you never know. I'm going to keep you posted. One of my students coming on board, she is going to be working with me to create her own digital business. And one of the things she's going to do is take this whole thing of the other dimensions and orbs and things and start teaching people how to do some pretty cool stuff. We're going to have to open up our mind, and when you do, you will receive unbelievable gifts. Abundance flows for everyone, and please, those of you who say we shouldn't make money doing anything, I'm like, how are you paying your bills? We do live in a society where we require money to pay our bills, and if you're doing good things and earning, that's a lot nicer than destructive things and earning. And when you have abundance, you can share it. I have a friend of mine, he's doing something he absolutely loves. It's super creative, a 7-figure earner. I'm going to actually interview him. When we go into passion, the abundance flows. But here's the thing, he makes all this money, but he gives a lot of money to charity. Now he's able to help other people. How you earn and how you spend it is the key to the frequency of money. Money is not evil. People are not evil. It's the choices within all of this that count. Stay away from fear. Break through it. Recognize it as a human being. It's part of your experience. I am not afraid of UFOs. In fact, I'm fascinated by them. I know that I am indestructible, as are you. Nothing can actually harm you. The physical body can expire at some point. Yay. You know, it'd be nice to go off to another adventure. But whatever you do here is going to count, because that frequency and adventure continues on. It's an ongoing story. It's not a final chapter. All right? So whatever you do here, everything is going to count, and you're going to know that. When you leave here, you're going to have to take a look at it. Did I do my best? Did I go in fear? Was I separating myself? The spiritual community has to stop separating itself, and we should stop even saying we're spiritual, because it's a label that somehow we are better or more awakened than others, and we aren't. We've just made a choice. So I hope you'll join me in exploring all of this. I'm going to keep my eyes to the sky, and I'm going to make sure I have my camera ready next time. Let's have fun with this. Get ready. More things are going to show up. They're going to appear to us when we're ready, because they're just waiting for the toddlers to grow up and start behaving like adults so that they can assist us in free energy, which exists right now, cleaning up our planet, that they can help us healing in ways that we are exploring now. This is the world that's opening up that you can participate in. And if you are in fear of any kind, A, stop entangling with it, creating it, contributing to it. B, make higher choices to be the change maker. And you guys have seen this. This is Digital Explorers, my business, where we focus on everything that you love, and we create businesses around it, or a business around it. We create multiple income streams, but all you have to do is tell me what you love, really what you're passionate about, and then we create purpose and positive impact on our planet, planet-conscious businesses. You will be a business owner with multiple income streams, doing something you love. You never learn any technology. There's none of that in there. This is how we should have been living. All those things that people told you couldn't do as a child, I'm going to say, yes, let's create it. And abundance is yours to accept. It's up to you. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. This is a free webinar. And then I have free stuff here. If you're struggling personally and you just have to get that mindset in check, this might be the place for you to start. Here, this is for people who want to make a difference on the planet, love their lives, know that they have purpose, and earn money in a way that is beautiful and fun, and other people are going to benefit greatly, as is the planet, animals, everyone. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.